welcome back to Learn It or Return It, the Mummy Edition. I'm Clarisse, and today I'm going to be talking about the game Herbaceous. It's for ages 8 and up, it's for approximately 20 minutes, and it is for 1 to 4 players. So today I was actually just going to show you the solo variant, but I'll go over the main game just because you need to understand the full game for more players to understand the solo variant. So let's jump in. So this game is by Pencil First Games, and the box is open. So let's see what's in here. So I'll show you the contents. We have the rule book. We have the solo variant. Just throw that down there. The solo variant, which I'll show you and tell you about it. It has a really nice little organizer. So we have the main cards. There's 72 cards in the deck. Get all these out of here. So initially you're going to take all those 72 cards. We have those cards, which I'll tell you about. We have our reference cards and container cards. I'll put them over here. And we have, these are the markers for each player for Private Garden. I actually just kept one of the little punch outs. Over there for us. Okay, so we have, I'll just tell you what all the different components are. Sorry about that. Okay, so we have our rule book, as I mentioned. So in here we have the main objective. We have all the variants for mainly 2 to 4 players. The one I'll be talking about again is the solo variant. So this has what you need to know as well. So we have, this is our herb tea biscuit. This is a 5 bonus point card. This is so if you have, which I'll show you, there are special herbs in this deck. They're numbered 1 to 3. If you get 1, 2, and 3, you, like in one of the containers, which is specifically the jar, the glass jar, then you can score 5 additional points. So I'll set that one aside. You're going to want to hold on to that. The other thing that it comes with, we have 4 reference cards. They're identical. They're double-sided. They show you on the back the different containers, what each container holds. So one of them is identical cards. So all the same. Next one is all different ones. The third one is 2 of a kind, so 2 different ones, so all different sets. And then the third one is your glass jar, so any of the 1 to 3 special herbs. So in the solo variant, I'll take one of the reference cards and I'll put that over here. I'll take the other ones and put them back in the box. I will take one of these, sorry, a little cat hair here. So we have these are the garden markers, or Private Garden markers in 4 different colors. So we have the blue, the green, the yellow, and the pink. In the solo variant, I'll take just one of them. I'll take the yellow. It doesn't really matter which color you choose, but the only difference is you're going to want to match it with these cards. So these are your container cards. They come in 4 different colors just on the back. The opposite side, or the other side, is they're all the same in each of the 4 decks. So this is for the pink player. Here's the green. And we have the blue. And there's the yellow. Okay, so for the yellow, I will just take that one and we'll put the rest back in the box. And I'll show you what they're all about. The other private markers in there. And just get rid of that. In the solo variant, we're also going to remove half of the deck because we have 72 cards in the whole deck. We're going to remove 36. So before I do this, I'm actually going to show you, let's see if I can take out one of each of the different cards here, just so you can see the different ones. So we have 7 different ones. I have tarragon, bay. There's rosemary, sage. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's one more sneaky little guy in here to be lavender. The other thing I would like to show is we have the special herb cards that are numbered 1 through 3. There's thyme. I'll show you these up close in 1 sec. We have mint, and there's one other little sneaky guy. Let's see if I can find him. Mint. Yeah, mint. Chives. Okay, so we have for the special herbs, they're numbered 1 through 3. We have mint. That's 1. 2 is chives. And 3 is thyme. Okay, so these ones just keep in mind. And then we have 7 different herbs here. So we have dill. We have our rosemary, sage, lavender, tarragon. We have bay, and we have saffron. So they're all very, very pretty little herbs in here. So those are the different herbs. We have our different herbs. So it'll be 7 different herbs, and we have 9 of each in the deck. And then we have our 3 special herbs. We're going to take the deck and shuffle these and set it aside just for a minute. Just don't want to forget this part. Okay. Alright, so we're going to take 36 out of the deck. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, 36. So we'll take the rest and just put them back in the box. Now the other part I want to show is, so these are the container cards for me. Sorry about that. Excuse me, just one moment here. Just a little dry. Okay, so we have 4 container cards. This one is for identical cards. That's all that can go in this one. So that's our first one, or one of them. This one will have all single different cards. This one will have pairs that are different. So, you know, like 2 sage, 2 tarragon, etc. This card is your glass jar. So for this one, you'll have the special herbs, the 1, the 2, and the 3. When you have acquired, let's say, one of each of them, 1, 2, and 3, you can acquire, or you can earn the herb tea biscuit. That will give you 5 additional points. If you don't get 1, 2, and 3, because sometimes when we're doing the solo variant or even the 2-player and you've taken cards out and put them back in the box, sometimes not all of them will be in the deck that you're working with. So there's a chance you might not earn this in the game, but it's good to just still keep it out anyway, just in case. The other thing is, if let's say you just get all, like all 1s or 1s and 2s, it doesn't matter. So this tells you can have up to 3 of those special herbs in here in order to gain 2, 4, or 6 points. So if you have 1, you get 2, 2 you get 4, and 3 you get 6 points. And you're going to add those up at the end of the game. Excuse me. For this one, 2 is 4, 4 is 8, and so on. And so we're just, yeah. And then 1 is 2, 2 is 6, and so forth. So initially what we're going to do, because I'm going to be showing the solo variant today, the setup is very similar to the other variants. The only difference is for the solo variant, you're going to have a discard pile. And if you were playing with more than one person, then you wouldn't have a discard pile. You would actually have, you would each have separate gardens. You'd have everything happening at the same time. But again, this is a solo variant, so I'll just show you how to play this one. So we're going to take the reference card, which has, again, what each of the containers can hold, which is very handy to keep by your side. The second thing is on the other side, it tells you the steps in which you can do things. So the first step is, if it's an optional step, you don't have to plant herbs at the beginning of your turn, but if you happen to have enough to do so to complete a container, that's the one thing to keep in mind. It's only if you're completing a container, then you can do that as your first step at the beginning of your turn. So in order to do this, so it says choose one of your containers. These are your containers. Collect a set of herbs from your private garden and or community garden, which we'll see. So we're going to have a discard, community garden, private garden here, and then these are your containers. So your private garden is actually going right below your containers. You're going to accumulate here in order to put into your containers. So then you're going to be tucking any sets under your container, and the containers can only be used once. So once you've decided, okay, maybe I'm going to have five different ones, for example, in this container, or 6, or whatever you decide, then that container is done. You're going to put them underneath, and you're going to flip your container card on top of that pile. And you're going to move on until you've completed all your containers. And so the second part is, which is the mandatory step, you're going to be planting. Okay? So you're going to draw the top card from the deck. You are going to decide, is this a card that I would like to put into my private garden? Or is this a card I would like to put into the community garden first? In the solo variant, which I'm showing you, there are 3 steps. So this actually gives you one more card that you're going to be taking from this pile. So let me show you how this works. Let's just jump right in. So I have picked up a rosemary card. I'm going to decide, do I want to get rid of it, so remove it pretty much from this game, or am I going to put it in community garden where it'll be free for the taking when I want to complete a container, or will I put it in front of me to join one of these containers at some point? So I think I will take rosemary, and I'm going to put it in my private garden. Now the next card is sage. Okay, so sage, I'm going to try to figure out, okay, do I want to put it in the community garden where I might be able to use it at some point? Or do I figure, well, I'll get rid of it and hopefully this next one will be one that I'll eventually need. So let's get rid of sage. We're going to discard sage. And then the third card, tarragon, I'm going to put that in our community garden over here. Okay, so now we're going to keep going on and on. So the first one is tarragon. What I could do is I'll take tarragon into just my private garden in no particular order here. And next one, sage. Let's put sage in the center this time because I might need it, which leaves saffron to be booted into the discard pile. So I'm going to go on and on. I'll just do a couple more. So I have a bay card. So my goal might be, let's see, maybe doing all single different cards in this one. So I'm going to take the bay card again in front of me, and let's see what our next one is. So there's dill here. Ooh, I could put dill in the center. So this will come in handy for me, and get rid of tarragon. Now if, let's say, I've decided, okay, I'm going to finish one of my containers, I will take, so again, as I mentioned, my goal is I'm going to do that one different card, all different herbs in this one container. So I will do this. I am going to take my rosemary, tarragon, bay. So we have 3 of a kind so far. Now this is my time to fill it. So I will take from the community garden, I'll take sage to make 4 of a kind so far. And there's also dill. Okay, so I have now 5 of a kind. I don't need the tarragon, and I definitely can't take from the discard pile. So now I have 5 of a kind. I'm going to take this container card, and I'll look and see 5 cards equals 8 points. I'm not going to be adding up the points just yet, but it's just so you're aware. So I'll take all the ones that I've just gathered, because I've decided, that's enough for that container, because I don't want to risk not getting, certain ones. Maybe they're going to be discarded. And I'll take my container card and put it face down on top to show that that container is completed. And then I will move on to the next containers until I can't play anymore and the deck runs out. At that point, you'll check and see if there's anything you can grab from the community garden and your private garden to complete any more objectives, and then the game is done and you add up all your points. For this one, for the solo variant, they actually have a scoring system, which is really neat. So you have certain goals. So you score as a normal multiplayer game. For anything less than 37 points at the end of the game, you'd be a fledgling grower. 37 to 41, beginning planter. 42 to 46, a clever cultivator. 47 to 51, a talented gardener. 52 to 56, a professional herbalist. Ooh, 57 and up, true, I was going to say I don't know why, but it'd be a true green thumb harvester. And then anything higher, it says, can you score 114 plus points? So that one, do you have 2 green thumbs? I haven't played that yet. I've never achieved that much yet, but there's still time. So at the game end, again, you're going to add up, all the points. You're going to check and see, what you are. Are you a beginning planter, for example, or what? And then that's it. You're just always going to look at the end. You're going to add up all your points, however many cards are in the containers, and find out how much you've earned. So that's the game. The game it's so lovely. The herbs are so pretty to look at. There's a tarragon, and saffron. Look at that. The artwork's so lovely. It's by Beth Sobel, who also did Wingspan, which is actually over here, and there's Calico up here. So she did really nice artwork for these really lovely games. And so the artwork's really nice. It makes me actually want to go and get a nice little herb tea biscuit. Look at this delicious little thing. And it's, the other thing that's really nice is it's not super competitive. It's not cutthroat, but it's also, there is a certain, there's, of course, like, you're a little competitive, when you have the discard pile, for example, in the solo variant, or when you're playing against others, you're trying to get, the cards before someone else decides to get them, and complete your sets and try to get the best possible outcome that you can before the other person. And for the other version, if let's say you're playing with more players, you want to complete all your containers before the other person in hopes that your points are higher than theirs. So that's the game, and I recommend this one a lot. This one's very, very calm and very, very lovely. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed watching. I hope you're going to like our videos, and hope you'll subscribe. Thank you again so much for watching. All right, have a good day.